It's time to get nerdy. Nerdy. I'm gonna find a new song every time we bring this dude in, man. I'm gonna find a new
That's
way to
pretty
do it.
dope.
You like
I
that?
like, I like, I like that. That was so unexpected.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy Shaun Q, my partner, like always.
Jay Roman.
Together we are OSP, and we are gonna bring a return guest on because we gotta get nerdy about some shit. Some nerdy shit has been happening that we gotta dig into. Before we get into that, let's get into our what's popping. And what's popping around the country is them stimmies, baby.
I'm rich, biatch. I had to do it. I've been waiting to do it.
That was pretty good. Everybody got them stimmies, man. Everybody got a little bit of money in their pocket. I mean, they take 25% and give us 2% back, but whatever.
I mean, 1,400, the year of not working, whatever.
Right? Yeah, okay. It adds up. I mean, no complaints. Everybody's happy with it. Nobody's really mad at it. And once again, one of the best things to come out of this is some of the fucking memes, man. These memes are on point. I've seen some like this dude. It was like a cup of noodle, and it was like when that stimmy hit, and it was pouring Fiji water in for the fucking.
I have not seen that one. I've seen that one. Not see that one.
Is that one? There's like the same cup of noodle one. It was like shrimp flavor, but there was a whole fucking lobster hanging out of it. And it was like my favorite one I saw. It was like this guy's at the McDonald's drive-thru, and his account was like $0.2. And the guy was like, "You said extra French fries?" And it was like, "Your stimulus just hit." He goes, "Nah, man, how much for the franchise?" Like,
I saw that one. Yeah, man. I mean, I know we're probably everyone's seen these around the world a couple of times, but they still make me laugh if they pop back up. Oh, dude, my God.
Funny is funny. And these fucking stimmy memes are the best, man. I love it. I love that we went from something like so negative, because there's a lot of negative shit happening in the world, that we can laugh about everybody coming into a little bit of money. Obviously, it's not a lot of money. It's not taking people out of poverty, but it's I don't know. We all smile for a little bit, like, cool, that's one less bill we have to worry about.
Yeah, that's that money. Rent. We've got food. Yeah,
right. That money can go towards something, and so I'm happy about that. I'm curious to know what the OSP fam, what they did with their stimmies. You don't have to tell us, but we're gonna pose the question to you. Like, let us know what you did with part of it. Don't tell us the whole thing. If you spend it on hookers and blow, that's fine. You do what you do with your money. Whatever you do with your money is your money. I mean, let us know. Hit us up. You know where we're at. So,
is it blow? Of course.
Of course. So one of the things or the biggest thing that's happened as far as TV, which because things are slowly kind of reopening. But right before that happened, Justice League, the Zack Snyder cut came out, and I think everybody's seen it. And so what we were going to do is we're going to bring in, as promised, we told our good friend Erik Lucas from That Geek Show that when the movie came out, we would bring him back to chop it up with him. So we are going to bring in Erik Lucas to chop up what's happening with the Justice League. All right, cool.
Yeah, can't wait to hear this.
We would like to welcome in our good friend. Welcome back, Mr. Erik Lucas. Welcome back to the show. Say what's up to the OSP fam.
What's up, people? Glad to be back. Shaun, Mr. J. Roman, glad to be back in the house. Ready to chop it up with some geek news. It must be a geeky week because he brought in the guy that does the geek stuff.
For sure. I mean, as soon as what we're talking about hit, when was that? Already last week? I was like, oh yeah, we got to do this. So we don't usually do like 2 guests in a row and all that. And I was like, yeah, he's got to come on right now. We got to do this.
Sweet.
Yeah. So the Justice League Zack Snyder cut dropped, or as I like to refer to it, that 4-hour Mercedes-Benz commercial.
There was only 2.
I keep calling it Justice League Dark, even though I know Justice League Dark is a whole nother Justice League. I just keep saying Justice League Dark because Snyder is such a dark person, and the tone of his, not just feel wise, but the color tone is dark.
Sepia tone.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything's gonna be like I need a flashlight in the damn movie, So I'll take
very
that
dark. Motherfuckers getting decapitated and shit. I guess we should say spoiler alert because we will talk about the movie. By the time this comes out, if you haven't seen the Snyder cut, then you're not a real fan, so this doesn't affect you at all. Okay.
Yeah. Now, their defense, it is long.
Right. I can say even if you chopped it up, you still have had time to watch.
Yeah, you've had a week. Yeah.
So my thing is, everyone who's listening or watching, carve out 4 hours. It's about to be a 4-hour podcast.
No, the fuck it is not.
no, cut that. Sorry, no, it's not really. Don't tune out.
No,
Don't tune out.
It is not.
We're gonna break down each hour by hour.
Each chapter.
All right, part 3. Remember in part 3? No. Oh,
Can you imagine?
Hey, as long as we get a gratuitous slow-mo shots of us just looking at the camera.
Oh god, yeah, you gotta have.
I'll do it myself. I'll do it right now.
I can not. I looked like that Obama meme when it cut the first time. It was like part 1. This is me.
Yeah.
They
chopped that bitch up. Oh, bet. Okay, so this on part 3.
Okay, so all right, let's get into this because it was a long movie. We're not gonna make the podcast obviously that long, but it maybe a little longer than normal. 4 hour cut. Little background. Snyder was out of the last one. I think because of personal reasons. We don't need to get into. That's a whole other situation. And then I guess Warner Brothers. And here's my thing. I heard this actually, Eric, on yours on that Geek Show podcast.
Hey.
That I finally got the background. I never knew the background. So Snyder was out personal reasons. I guess Warner Brothers took the opportunity to add 60 to 70% different stuff.
Yep.
That shit drives me bananas. But I also realized, and I don't know if we had actually talked about this before, that you and I feel very similar about the first one. It wasn't as bad as people made it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I found it actually very entertaining. I love, and I hope he's the same one in all of them, The Flash. I love that kid. I think he's fantastic. You know, he's really funny. Really Plus, my daughter is able to watch it. Is it great? No. It moves a little bit too fast in some ways. There's a big difference between Snyder Cut, obviously. But the fact that they changed it so much, like when I'm watching it right now, all I can think is there's nothing the same. Like, where are these cuts from? How much did they refilm?
Yeah. Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff that's the same. Yeah, and I remember, Shaun, you were the one that put me on to actually telling me that they actually reshot stuff. You know, and so I avoided all previews. I didn't know what Darkseid looked like, except for like the game. I mean, they're putting out the figures, so I got that. I saw that, but so it's kind of nuts how different it is. It is way, 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 way different. And it was more than I was expecting. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So let's do this. Shaun, what you got?
I can say real quick, I didn't hate the first one, but the biggest quarrel we had with the first one is that we felt like DC couldn't keep up with Marvel and that they were trying to do what Marvel did and put 23 movies into one fucking movie.
Yes.
And it was one of those like, dude, you're rushing it. However, I feel like if the original Snyder Cut had come out, if they had put this 4-hour movie out the first time, people would have been like, okay, all right. They didn't do too bad of it. But the first one was so rushed and chopped up and split between 2 different directors and it was going in different directions. That's why a lot of people didn't like it. It's not that it wasn't a good product. It's just that they had to compare it to the Avengers, which is hard as fuck to do. Yeah. And it was chopped in with 2 different directors. This version, I think if they had put this version against like Infinity War and Endgame, it still wouldn't have been the same, but it would have been a better argument for DC as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, like I was saying in the podcast you mentioned that we did the other day, it's kind of like it's weird to see this version compared to that version because it makes that version look so much worse because this version is so good. Now, that being said, a nice tight 3-hour cut of this movie like would be the best thing to put into theaters. The 4-hour cut would have never flown. Nobody would have gone to that movie and said this was great because everybody's gonna be wanting to take a piss break throughout it gets there's really slow moving points. Like in a theater, if I was watching that movie, I would have got pissed. Like I'm like, am I watching this? Am I sitting through this right now? You know? But the fact that they chopped it up, I think was genius to do. So
time out real quick. What if, hear me out, they had done it and did it Quentin Tarantino style and halfway through at 2 hours, did an intermission, did like a 15-minute intermission, showed like an old fucking DC cartoon or some shit, and then people come back.
You would have gotten hardcore fans like me that went to go see that Quentin Tarantino roadshow because that wasn't in every theater. That was just for a certain theater.
I know. I went and saw it too. Yeah.
So you would have gotten us that would have gotten seen it, but as I like to call it, the flyover states, the middle America, the audience that just goes in, the grandma and grandpa that are saying, "What's in the movies this weekend?" They would not have gone to see that. And you don't think that's real? I've seen it with my eyes. People walk up to a movie theater with no clue what they're seeing and just go, What do you want to see tonight, honey? Oh, you know, that Justice League movie looks good. Let's see that.
Is that
no idea?
Burt Ward?
Yeah, people do that.
I've seen that too. Yeah.
That's the one with Burt Ward and Adam West.
Now, I do wish that it could have been a 2-parter. If it would have come out in theaters, I hope if he had the idea for it being 4 hours, that would have been a 2-parter at least. Because if he put it all together that fast, he could have done back-to-back years. It wouldn't have to be 2 years like Endgame. That would have been pretty dope. I like the idea I heard of maybe have done it hour sequences over 4 weeks. I think DC would have had a winner with that because they would have built it up.
They could have kept the subscriptions for sure.
That too. Because I have a guy who's going to sign up just to watch this.
Yeah,
and he's going to that shit.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, whatever. But so like Shaun, what did you feel about Batman? Because I got some real mixed feelings about the big three. I got some mixed feelings about the big three. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about their different portrayal than the first one. Than the
I like
Joss Whedon Snyder Cut.
I like the extended look at all the characters. Like we talked about, we love how they extended Cyborg storyline.
Yeah, I love that. That was my favorite thing about the movie.
I thought that was perfect.
He's a huge factor in the and when you see the original cut, you're like, I don't get. If you're not a fan, if you've never read any of the comic books and you just watch it from the beginning, you're like, I don't get why Cyborg's in the.
He got done dirty. He got neutered in that movie.
In the original, they did him dirty. So I like that they redid and went back and told his story and showed how important he actually is. I did like what they did. I love what they did with the Flash because I feel like he's the only one that maintained his character throughout. They didn't show a lot of Aquaman, which I was also cool with. The Aquaman that they did show kind of tied in with like his movie a little bit, and a lot of the original scenes were like his shit from the original movie. They didn't do a lot of Aquaman backstory, which I was also cool with. With Batman, I didn't like how they made Batman. I said this to you before. I didn't like how they made Batman in the original, and it kind of stressed out to this one, how they just made it seem like he was so fucking sorry that he killed Superman. You guys, like, I have to fix this. Like,
I think that was a lot more prevalent in the Justice League, the Joss Whedon cut.
Right, that's what I'm saying. In that first one, I absolutely hated that Ben Affleck was like, we need him, you guys. Without him,
See, hold on. I didn't realize that one. I didn't realize that in what you got the Justice League. I like
League,
that.
yeah.
I'm gonna use that. I didn't realize that that's how he was in the Justice League. Yeah, of course he was. But in this one, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like the big three have a little bit something different, whereas his hopeful and faith, that he has.
He's become a leader. Yeah.
It's like I get that part, but he's so much like, oh, we need Superman. And I'm sorry. And most of the comics I've read, he's looking at Superman with the side eye, like, what you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Just get out of here. He knows he needs him.
All right.
But he was too nice.
For a long ass time. And as you know, my two favorite superheroes are Batman and Wolverine. Unfortunately, they're all commercialized and they are what they are, but they've been my favorite for a long time, since before everybody was on their dicks. I can tell you this. Everything that I've seen about Batman, even when he's not the new like brooding Batman, or he's the dark guy, the one who doesn't laugh and shit like that, I like the idea of Ben Affleck as current Batman. He's older. He's still shredded up. He's rich as fuck. He has the quips. He rarely smiles, but when he does, it's a big deal. He still tries to flirt with Wonder Woman. He can be both Batman and Bruce Wayne. I like that. I don't like this storyline of Superman, please. What are we going to do? Where is Ja? I don't like it. The other comic books, even when you look at the cartoon, when they had the Batman and Superman cartoons, at no point in time was Batman like, listen, the only way we can get this done. No, Batman has always been the king of, we'll find a fucking way. Let's find a way. Let's just find a way. And so when you talk about I have faith and I have hope and I have a dream, Alfred, and I have a belief. Yeah, that I can be honest, I'm not too much a fan of. I get it for you're fighting world beaters. You need your own, you have a world beater. You bring them back to life, you make that happen. But I can say this, there was a line in the original that I feel like was very important, and they took it out for the Zack Snyder cut. And that's because it was rushed, so they cut it down. But when Superman is beating the fuck out of Batman, because historically,
I didn't like that.
Historically, Superman usually beats the fuck out of Batman, but Batman always has a contingency plan. And I like that one line in the first one, the Justice League version, where he was like, Alfred, bring out the contingency plan. Yes. Now, even if that cuts that whole Lois Lane storyline out, I like it because Batman is not gonna get murdered by Superman. He always has a backup plan. And then this one, it was like, no, this bitch just happened to be there delivering.
Yeah.
Well, but they set that up that she had been doing that every day since his death.
I get that.
They set that up. You can't.
Right, she hadn't. And yeah. Manhunter goes to see her now. She's like, "Guess I'll deliver coffee one more time."
That's the irony of it. That was the day she was going to move on with her life.
But that shit, I don't like. I don't like coincidence. I don't like that. It's because if she did that every Tuesday and they were releasing Superman on Wednesday, that bitch would have missed it. Superman would have killed everybody.
Sure. The thing that I saw from the continuity between Batman versus Superman and then the Zack Snyder Justice League is that Batman was this getting back to your guys' whole critique of the whole we need Superman thing, which I didn't see a lot of in this version. What I saw was Batman, who had completely destroyed everything that had to do with Superman, his legacy. He's the reason all this is happening in the first place. I feel like it's his duty, his motivation is to bring him back. But I liked in this version that never even came up until Cyborg told them what the change engine is and that it brought him back to life. And then all of a sudden Barry Allen's like, I know you guys are now thinking it, right? And then that's when everybody starts to get the thing. It was never before that Batman was like, I gotta figure out if we can bring Superman back. Like it never even came up until that point in the movie, which was like an hour and 45 minutes in, maybe 2 hours in.
Yeah, that's right. Because from the last one, it seemed like that was his goal the whole time.
Yeah,
the whole time.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's the conversation he had with Alfred. Like, I have to bring him back. Alfred, that was.
But in
Alfred, this one, Alfred had the conversation with him. Like, you're messing with some dark shit, talking about bringing Superman back.
Yeah, that was after that conversation. Yeah,
I'm watching it, and from the get-go, I was like, okay, my daughter can't watch this. She really enjoyed Justice League. She's like, that's Flash. She calls herself Flash because she's like, I'm fast like the Flash. So that's her big thing right now. She's been that for a while. And so I'm watching. Wonder Woman comes in, and then in an instant, there's a head spattering across the wall, or the blood spatter from her throwing him. And like we said, for those of you who haven't watched it yet, go somewhere with this shit because we're spoiling everything. So she kills them.
She straight up murders people.
Wonder Woman is a killer. And my wife even knows. I was like, what the? I'm like, did I just see that right? She killed them. She spattered that man's brains, and then she bombs that guy at the end with her.
She just incinerates him.
I'm like, okay, so that's way different because I don't even think I've ever seen her kill in the comic. Maybe like a bad guy, but I'm not saying she hasn't. But I don't read a lot of DC comics anymore because they've gotten so many. And I haven't read a comic actually in a little bit. But yeah, I got into some new stuff when I started reading it. And yeah, she maybe got in some bad battles, but I never really saw her kill anybody. And then now I'm like, wait, this is all on screen. So it's so extreme. So that's another one where it's like, I don't know in the Trinity how I feel about how they're treating her now. Because it's like if Batman starts killing, Batman has never been a killer in the comics.
That was a lot of what people had for Batman, Superman. They didn't like.
There hasn't been versions of him where he kills. Yes, I get that. But the main Batman has never been a killer. You know what I mean? It's like Peter Parker started killing people. Like, what the fuck? He just changed his character.
So this is what I've known about DC and their superheroes. The only one that had a code to not kill anybody was Batman. And Christopher Nolan touches on that in his Dark Knight when he was like, you're gonna have to break that one rule you have. You're gonna have to somebody's gonna have to fucking die. I don't remember Superman ever having a code where he couldn't kill people. So when they're in the thing and he's fighting Zod and he's got that laser and people are fucking getting killed and shit like that, I never knew Superman had a rule where somebody didn't have to die.
There wasn't.
Wonder Woman never had a rule where somebody didn't have to die. Batman was the only one that made it like a rule.
See, and that's the whole thing that I've come to terms with Zack Snyder. I've treated his version of the DC like an Elseworlds comic. And for those who read comics, like this is just his version, and that's okay because it's Zack Snyder. And if you've seen a Zack Snyder movie, violence, blood, gore, people die. So I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, Batman v Superman's a clusterfuck. I just didn't like it because it's a mess of a movie. Didn't mind Man of Steel. I actually think that's an underrated movie, except for the last 10 minutes of the movie, which get out of control.
I love Man of Steel. Straight up, I love Man of Steel.
It's good. I enjoy it, and this one I enjoyed too. So it's like it's Zack Snyder. That's what I just keep. And I mean, not that you guys are wrong with your opinions, but I'm just saying like that's the terms I came to.
Right, it's his version of the story, and I've always. Like the reason why I know, like I've been a fan of Batman not killing people. I used to justify it when I was younger when I'd be like, well, out of all the people in the Justice League, Batman's the only human, so he has a little bit more of a respect for human life. The rest of these motherfuckers are gods. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
And you're not wrong.
Right. We're less than to them. That's what it makes sense. He values human life more. But there are two things that I know to be true. Every Batman, especially ones that I've liked, Batman at his core is an asshole. Period. I like asshole superheroes. I don't feel like this version of Batman was an asshole. And apparently Wonder Woman is now not only a rapist, but also a murderer. And this is
damn.
Oh,
damn.
Wonder Woman 2. Yeah.
Damn.
This woman was raping dudes in the 80s, and now she's murdering dudes in the 80s.
Shit.
Wonder Woman needs to be stopped.
I didn't think about that. So, all right. So, let's get to some. Let's get to some key.
This rapist murderer needs to be stopped.
I mean, you're right, because technically that guy's body couldn't give consent.
Yes.
That was Steve Trevor.
Raped the dude in the 80s.
This dude just woke up one day like,
and we're just letting it happen. Why are we not stopping Wonder Woman?
Y'all on some shit with that one. I know, and I know we got into that on one of the podcasts, but damn, since you want to put it all together, she's a total package now, right?
I'm just tying shit together. This is her. This is the same chick, same Wonder Woman.
Hey,
put it together.
So
in Amazon, in Themyscira, there's different rules, all right?
Yeah.
So here's one thing I did realize when I did watch it though. We are now in the era of adult superhero movies, which is great. It's no more of this nonsense of like, oh, they always have to be so nice and sweet and funny and all that stuff. Because they had their moments. There was funny little parts, great, that they kept. The Flash stuff was still cool. He was still quirky. I liked him that he wasn't as not confident as he was. I hated that he was like so timid. They took that away.
Well, he's a brand new Flash. Like he's baby Flash almost. Like he just got new powers.
But it's just like, I don't know. There's something about it. But he's funny, and I appreciate that. He's like has his little thing. But what we got to touch on this. They changed the look of Steppenwolf drastically, and of course they brought in Darkseid. You know what I mean? Which I actually thought he'd be bigger. It's one of those things like, if I saw him in person, I thought she'd be bigger. Like it'd be that kind of thing because I really thought he would be bigger, but they completely changed Steppenwolf's like armor. His face was kind of the same except for the way the armor went over.
For the better. For
the better because the way it worked, but I thought it was just odd. It was for one too shiny for me. I was like, why is it so shiny? But then also, it wasn't realistic when he horned Aquaman, like in the first one. Those were spikes on his uniform this time, not horns that are just out this way. No, it's spiky everywhere. Aquaman should have been dead. Okay, this man can punch through and hit with the best of them. He horns Aquaman. Aquaman doesn't even have a scratch. And this guy has live horns or spikes that come out of his body at will, and he horns them, and there's not even a scratch. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. Come on, let's make it real. Let's get some blood.
The Steppenwolf thing they changed his armor and made him more alive because they wanted us to show empathy for him, because they gave us more of a backstory as to him trying to please his master and why he was doing shit and how he betrayed his master before and he was doing it for a cause. In the beginning, the first one, there was no cause. He was just here to do it because Darkseid said so.
He's just a conqueror. Yeah.
They gave a little bit of a backstory, so they wanted us to feel for the villain to an extent. Like you kind of feel bad for the guy, like he's doing everything he can. And last time fucking Darkseid came, he had to fight, Zeus and all these motherfuckers. He was like, "Hey, look, I checked the planet, boss. Everything's good. I don't see any lanterns. There's no son of Krypton. There's a lanterns. Hey, real quick. So the son of Krypton is back from the dead. Also,
so what you're saying is he exhibited more bitch assness in this one. That's
absolutely. That's
really what I'm saying.
And they couldn't make. He wasn't. They made sure he wasn't, because in the original he was the villain. He was the guy. You had to believe that this one guy was a big enough problem for the entire Justice League. And
but even in that movie, I never for a second thought of him as even a good villain. Right. And I was like, this guy really, he's nothing.
Right. I was surprised too.
At least in this one, they gave him a badass like glowing axe with power coming out of it.
They had to make his armor scarier. They had to make him somewhat scarier. But then also,
he was tossing horses.
Yeah, they had to show that he was leading to the actual big bad guy.
Yeah, and which is great.
Right. Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about it is I felt like they made, unlike what the Avengers did with Thanos, they made Darkseid look too weak too early. To show that when he first got here, how they defeated him and he can be cut open with an axe and he's bleeding and they drag his body back to the ship. You're like, all right, so the dude can be killed. All right. At no point in time until fucking after Thanos like came in and fucking was whopping the floor with people, do they realize, oh, people can actually put hands on this guy. Yeah. I feel like they made Darkseid look too weak too early, to where unless he's gotten much stronger since that last battle.
Well, because you see it in that flashback sequence, he doesn't have barely any armor on. He's got no helmet. He doesn't have the Omega Beam Force yet. Like that's young Darkseid. That's thousands and thousands of years
I guess before. Yeah, that makes sense. And
when you see him in the current day, he's got the glowing eyes, he's got the huge armor, he's got the intimidating, he's got an army behind him massed over that millions of, you know what I mean? It's like,
okay, that's a good point. I didn't really think about it like that.
I didn't think about it because it was 9 hours in between when we saw the first time.
I know.
So I would go back and rewatch it, but I don't have 13 hours.
Yeah, because in the flat, I mean, when they first do the reanimation of Superman, and the countdown's going, and Cyborg sees the future from the Kryptonian computer, start seeing the little flash forward scenes of that's when you see Darkseid. He's just killing freaking Aquaman with his own axe while the Omega beams are taking everybody else out. Then you see that's how badass he is. He's omnipotent. He's
obviously grown since. Sense. He just completely forgot where he left the anti-life. He's got.
Yeah, that was a weird plot.
So
leave that anti-life.
Okay, so he forgot on Earth. I maybe missed that part.
That's why
I added already.
Like, Steppenwolf was like, tell Darkseid.
Yeah, they found it, and then the armies of men and Themyscira and yada it pushed him back. The only thing I can think of is that,
and then they found it again later. So they didn't remember that they lost it on Earth.
Darkseid
right. The only thing I can think of is that because he's even said like I've conquered 10,000 worlds. The only thing I can think of is like maybe they all blend together at some point.
Yeah.
Nah.
I mean, Earth. Think about it, if Earth was just Earth and he's been alive for 10,000 years, like I don't know.
Time out. I disagree. If you had 200 fights and you were 201, I don't care if that one happened after your second fight.
Right.
You gotta remember the motherfucker that beat you.
All right.
Darkseid never forgot about Earth. He was like, maybe that one time you almost lost your fucking head.
Maybe he just passed out from the bleeding out and he forgot. Like, I mean, he was in bad shape, man.
Yeah, he wakes up. Did we win? Yes, Darkseid. Yeah.
I mean, maybe he does have a lot of yes men around him.
Yeah, yes, Darkseid. We conquered it. Don't look back there. You won that one.
It really makes me kind of sad too, though, that this seems to be the end of Snyderverse.
Maybe
in the way he's created, like Man of Steel, I love it. I love Man of Steel. Never say never, right? Batman vs Superman, terrible product, really rushed idea. This Justice League, I gotta say, I think we needed this. I don't know if we needed 4 hours,
no,
but we needed this. So I feel like I needed this because I needed some kind of redemption because gosh, it's been so horrible to watch anything that wasn't just Batman or Man of Steel because of everything else was just garbage.
You didn't like Shazam or Aquaman?
Actually, I did. But the unfortunate thing is, I don't know where anything's going now because Snyder's not part of this. Even though I know this is the main world, Shazam should be there. I do appreciate who they brought into this one and who they showed in the fights. I love that they showed lanterns. They showed Green Lanterns. I think that was super dope. You know what I mean? And he dies and the ring goes away.
2 lanterns. There was one dead and one alive. Yeah, there was another one dead.
Exactly. So I love that the lantern core was there in some form. That was super dope. I'm like, yes, finally we got a little something. And then the big surprise, towards middle and then the end again, like, yo, that was super dope. That I didn't expect that. And,
Martian Manhunter.
I can't remember if Eltria was in the bed or whatever, but I was so excited when I was like, fuck yeah, like that's what's up. Like I love Martian Manhunter. And so it was just super dope to see him come in.
Doesn't that make you think about Man of Steel though?
It does. It does. Like, wait.
Dude's just sitting there like, I could come out of a disguise right now and save the planet, but you know what?
Yeah,
I think Superman's got it.
Yeah, he's like, fuck this planet.
Was that you, asshole?
Yeah, Hamlet, son of Krypton.
You know what I mean? And but that's also then. So is that 2 characters now that they created that says "fuck the world"?
Right.
Because Aquaman says it, and it's like, wait, what'd you just say?
Well, you know what though? If you go back and look at it, if you go back and watch Man of Steel, in the scenes where he would confront Superman, he never flinched. When people were scared of this fucking alien from Krypton, he never flinched. At no point in time did he act like he was scared of Superman, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
But okay, so again, I got to keep going back to the big 3 because I'm not done with how I feel about all of them. I got to say, the black suit on Superman.
Oh,
beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, best suit he's ever worn. Don't get me wrong. I do like the blue one he had last time because it had that weird look to it. Right. But the black, oh my gosh. Like,
oh yeah.
He should always be that. He should always be the black Superman. But
I think he should only wear that.
Maybe that's too much. that suit is top notch right there. And I knew when he was walking through the ship and they were coming out, when he turned, I knew that's the one he was looking at because I thought I remember hearing somebody say that. But all I need now is a figure with him in the black suit because I think that's the best shit.
Sure, that's coming out.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Let's move forward. We've spent what, an hour on Justice League.
Hold on, we got some nightmare time to talk about.
We should probably talk about that scene.
Okay.
There's a Joker. There's a Joker.
Go. How do we talk about what people are still calling the worst?
Going back to it, I mean, I still don't understand that they let him shoot that scene knowing that apparently they're not going to do anything. Literally, that scene sets up the rest of the other two movies. That's so weird to me. Second of all, that Joker scene was ridiculous. There was a couple really lines that were cool, except for I stopped listening when he got to who's else gonna give you a reach around, Batman. I'm like, I'm out. It's just stupid. Like, what is it? That either Zack Snyder wrote that terrible line, or he let Jared Leto ad lib, and don't let Jared Leto ad lib.
So here's the thing, I gotta say I really like Leto, but I've now seen him recently in 3 things that he was really good in. And I say the last 3 things recently. I'm talking about Blade Runner, the latest one.
Yeah.
I've now seen him in the movie that just came out. Gosh darn it, I don't remember.
The little things. Yeah.
And then I see him in this, and all I can think is he's basically the same guy. You know what I mean? And that's really the unfortunate thing because I really, really like Leto, and I did not mind his take in Suicide Squad as Gangster Joker. It was a little weird, but I didn't mind it. I don't say I like it, but I didn't mind it. But then when I saw him play this Joker, and I'm like, okay, that's more in line with what I think of as a Joker. But then I could think that's exactly how you seemed in The Little Things. And then even before that, that's pretty much how you seemed in the last Blade Runner. And so now I'm concerned when Morbius comes out, is it going to be the same again?
I'm not even going to watch Morbius.
As much as I love Leto, I got to say, like, I'm only seeing the same character now. And I'm kind of sad about that because I wanted him to be alive. I wanted him to be, you know, like whatever he needs to do, you got crazy and shit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Something. So I'm like, great. Now you're gonna be the weird doctor that needs to get this very serious thing happen to you. You're gonna be Morbius, and you're gonna be the same damn weirdo. You know, and it's like, I appreciate you being weird. I appreciate that, but don't just be weird just to be weird. Act like be somebody different. Be different.
Fortunately, rewatched The Dark Knight when I was at work the other day when I was cleaning up. And I had Netflix on, ended up watching the whole thing when I'm cleaning up. And even when Heath Ledger laughs for the first time as Joker, it's such a fucking make fun of, like, it looks like the script was like, Joker laughs. He came in, he goes, ha, he, ha, 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 ha. Like, if you're treating it, which is brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only time, like, he laughed whenever he saw, like, somebody was in pain. Like, when the dude tried to take Batman's mask off. And it was like, she goes, you fucking like that.
Yeah.
It's maniacal.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. What fucking Joaquin Phoenix did with his creepy, weird, I can't control it fucking, like, they made their laughter their own. Just based off Jared Leto's laughter, still the worst Joker ever.
It really is, dude. Like,
I thought this dude would redeem himself. They are calling.
I thought so too. I think we put too much into that trailer. That was the problem.
They are calling you.
Everyone did. I didn't even watch it.
They're calling you.
And that line wasn't even in the movie.
Yeah, I don't even know what the point of which is unfortunate because I love Joker, man. I mean, I have more figures of Joker than I have any other figure besides Spider-Man. So let's just put it that way.
If they call you the worst Joker ever, and you now have a chance,
you get one more shot. Yeah.
And that's what you do. Guess what? You have now cemented yourself as the worst Joker ever.
So how do you go from the worst Joker to the even worse Joker? I mean, it's just
by adding terrible lines about reach arounds and shit.
That's true. They should have added him into the movie as maybe a side thing, dealing with something else, but in a nightmare scene, and then
too much dialogue between the two of them. It's like they, you know what it was like? It was like Vince McMahon with his Hulk Hogan or with his John Cena. It was like, look, I can get him over. Just let me just give him some dialogue with Batman. You guys will like him. Trust me, you'll see how. No, dude, it's trash. And the more you throw him at us, the more we hate him.
Well, even in that article I was talking about, Zack Snyder literally said the only reason I shot that scene was because I thought the fans deserved to see these two together. And I'm like, we don't want it. Nobody wanted that.
Stop trying to we don't want that. We didn't want that.
Yeah. No, you shoved it down our throat and we didn't like that shit. Not a fan. But
so
overall,
I think he might have one more chance. and that's when the multiverse happens. But
yeah, that's one too many. So time to hang it up. Time to take the paint off. Time to hang it up, man. Switch up. So overall, we liked the Snyder Cut. Are we all in agreement? We like the Snyder?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Overall, we can't nerd out without talking about what Marvel just did recently. Everybody watched WandaVision. Everybody had different opinions of WandaVision, but there was a great meme that I saw that was perfect, and it had the meme of Captain America and Falcon running when Cap kept going on your left. They were like, Falcon was WandaVision, and here comes Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's Captain America on your left. As soon as people are like, man, WandaVision was so, oh shit, here comes a good one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And as you stated, it took the world by storm. It was the highest opening debut of a show that Disney Plus has had so far, even over Mandalorian season 2, which is crazy. And I don't think it disappointed. We've only seen one episode. As of today, we're recording this. Episode 2 comes out at midnight tonight. So we won't know what's happening. We can only go based on that first episode. And based on the first episode, I want to tell you a quote from our producer, Veltria, which I had to put in here.
Great.
She said, I believe it's too real with the fact that the black superhero has given his life to save the world, but has no retirement plan. She said, also, what the fuck is with Eastern European looking Captain America? Before we do what the rest of the world did and kind of shit on the new Captain America, who J. Roman has a theory on who it's going to be, I do want to say who the actor is, and I think it's funny who the actor is. Do you know who the actor is that plays that Cap?
I have not looked it up yet because I still kind of want to be surprised when I see his face.
Erik Lucas, do you know who it is?
No.
So because everything in the Marvelverse is connected, even though this doesn't make a connection, it's always if you haven't done a movie in the Marvel universe, you're a piece of shit.
What? There's plenty of people.
You ready? Star-Lord's dad, Ego, his son in real life is the new Captain America. That is Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son.
Wow.
And I just saw him in an episode of Black Mirror. He looks like both his fucking parents. It's weird. But he shaved his face, and now he looks like whatever the fuck that is under that cap mask.
I totally see the Russell, though. Now that as soon as you said it, I totally see it.
Yeah, if you see him with his normal, like, Thor-looking face, long hair, and his dad's, like, fucking beard, looks like fucking Tango and Cash. No bullshit. That's what he looks like in real life. And this, awful.
It's one episode. Give it a second. It's one shot.
Nah, fuck that. I'm done.
I know everyone memed the shit out of that thing. I get it.
So good.
Mom, can we have Captain America? We have Captain America at home. Yes, I've seen the memes.
So, I mean, we're saying that, but I got into a little deeper thought about it. It's not just the retirement thing, but how fucked up is it that they asked this man, hey, could you give this up for the country? And then a week later, not even a week, they give it to this asshole. You know, and
Marvel's.
I don't know if I even need to go there, but it's a white guy.
Marvel's pretty woke, man, and I think they're making that statement that, like, that would happen in real life.
Yeah,
I love the black man to give to the white man.
Yeah, they would do that.
They absolutely took one. They took it from him. They didn't respect how he fucking felt about the shield. 2, this dude is in the bank denying this dude a loan and then asking this nigga for a selfie. Like that is the blackest shit.
All that would happen too. That's real.
Yeah,
that's
the realest shit that's happened in the Marvel universe in God knows how many years. Because as subtle as it is, it's real as fuck. Yeah. And he even asked, he was like, Tony Stark didn't set up a fucking
and this whole thing about this whole episode is one of the coolest things is we don't have any post blip information on anything except for Spider-Man Far From Home, and even then that's so almost immediate. They don't talk much about the blip.
So we do in WandaVision. They do
we do, of course, a little bit, but not like this. WandaVision is so of its own thing.
Right.
This is actually showing you the world of what's happening to regular people because we met his sister and stuff like that. So I love that interesting part, and then I love the fact that black people still can't get a break. Like, what the fuck?
Tony Stark didn't change shit. I
did like a meme I saw earlier this week where it was from Anchorman, and it's when he's giving a monologue, and it's like Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1 without spoilers, and it's when Ron Burgundy's warming up, and he says, "The Flash was denied a bank loan today."
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan,
or the Human Torch. Right? Yeah. I was just like, wow, that's holy shit. They called that 15 years ago.
Yeah. I love that. The Human Torch was denied a bank. Yeah, it's such a beautiful Marvel, man. They keep it. They keep the hits coming. And as much as DC put out this great product, for every time DC puts out something good, Marvel puts out 7 things better. And I don't feel like they're ever gonna catch up, bro. Like I don't think they will.
No,
they need to. What I thought when I saw the Snyder Cut, especially, is like what they needed to do was just stop what they were doing, and just go from the beginning. Go from the beginning, lead up the next 10 years, 5, 6 years, however they want to do it. They just so worried about being there right now. If you just build it, people will come, straight up, like Field of Fucking Dreams, right? They build it, people will come. If they would have built it up right to Batman vs. Superman, we would have had an epic Batman vs. Superman that would have actually been really something worth something. And then it would have led to Justice League in the way that this did. I love that they had more origin story, so that helped. But you could have had more of that leading up over the last 10 years. You had Man of Steel, 2013, some shit like that? Right. But you had the last Batman 3 or 4 years before that. And then you have Batman vs. Superman. Their sequencing just doesn't make any damn sense because they're not thinking long game. I don't know who the hell they're getting to write this shit. Like, what are you talking about? This is what you're doing with it,
I think, and we've talked about this before. I think last year when we were talking about the DC fandom, is that it's like these guys they've changed studio heads every like 3 to 4 years, and so whenever that happens, the new guy comes in and goes, "Well, we're doing something else," and there's no continuity. There hasn't been continuity in DC since the mid 2000s when they had the Nolan verse. That was the last time you had continuity.
There's no DC version of Kevin Feige. There's none.
And they did for a hot second. They hired Jeff Johns.
Right.
And that's when right after Batman Superman, he came in and was like, "All right, here we're gonna do Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Shazam," and then he got those all set up, and then he bailed. It's like, well, and now they're stuck with this again. It's like nobody knows what's happening.
There's no consistency. They don't have that one veto, that one head honcho, that one super fan who's like, "All right, I like that, but let's cut this." And then that same guy is there 10 years later.
That's the same problem with Star Wars. That's the same thing because Kathleen Kennedy doesn't. Sorry, everybody who's an apologist, but she doesn't know what the hell she's doing.
Yeah, that's what so we mentioned this on the last episode. And I was going to ask you about this. They talked about her stepping down, and everybody wanted what's his name, Jon Favreau, to take that seat.
Dave Filoni should take the seat.
Dave Filoni is not even that he's a bigger Star Wars fan, but I think even if you said Dave Filoni, I think if you did that, Jon Favreau would be like, absolutely. Like, this guy is everything Star Wars.
Dave Filoni sat at the seat of the head of the table of the master. He was Lucas's apprentice for Star Wars, the Clone Wars.
Yeah. Yes. I think he's young enough, smart enough, and if they put him in charge of the whole franchise, I don't see anybody having a problem with that. Even Jon Favreau.
I've loved everything he's done ever since the Clone Wars and then the Mandalorian. He just puts out hits, man.
Yeah. The hits just keep on coming.
Yeah, and it's not like he doesn't pander too much. It's not like over the top action or anything. He tells good stories that he himself has even said in interviews. These are the stories as a fan he would want to see told. That's why he does them.
I think that's really the key, man. It's funny that you said that because I was just thinking about Wu-Tang. Every day I think about Wu-Tang, but how they said on their album, we're making music that we want to hear, that we felt like was missing from the world, and we want to hear this, so that's what we make. And I feel like if everyone did that more, granted, unless it's just whack, which is to each their own, I feel like we'd be in a better place. If you do stories that you think are great because you're that creative person, like Favreau is, you will create something great that people will want because like know what they want because it's what you want.
It's the same thing.
You know what they want because it's what you want, and you listen. You don't have to listen to everything because Marvel definitely doesn't listen to the fans as much as the fans think they should, and I'm happy with that. But
I saw that with WandaVision.
yeah, exactly. So it's I don't know, DC, Warner Brothers, whoever, the HBO, the parent company, they need to get their heads out of their asses and get somebody in there, sign them for 10 years, and say, make this happen. Bring in people. Still Favreau. Please, I want to see him do some shit. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I don't think he would fuck it up. We have, I think we've hit our 4-hour mark. Yeah, we've had our long. This has been our 4-hour Justice League fucking review. Thank you for this.
I don't think we actually even spoiled a lot, except for.
Nah, not even that. I mean, you know how hard it is to spoil a fucking 4-hour movie, bruh. It's almost impossible. All we can tell you is a good movie. Check it out. You want to?
Not with your kids. Not with your little kids.
Better not bring your kids. If you haven't,
that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping we were gonna get that out of you.
If you haven't learned by now not to bring your kids to a DC movie, then you're a fucking idiot. I mean, the same people who took their kids to see Joker, who I took my kids to see Shazam. I was like, no idea.
I think it was the first time I heard Batman cuss. He was like,
and I will fucking kill you.
I will fucking kill you, right? I'm like, oh.
I have Harley Quinn in my arms, and as she was dying, she asked me to kill you slowly, and I will fucking kill you.
And I will. And I'm like, I was like, oh my God, Ben.
I was like, where's my pearls?
Where my pearls?
My goodness.
The language on that man. But when you talk about a dude giving you a reach around and shit,
I know. That's what you get.
Joker did that to himself. He's like, look at you, fucking clown. Oh my God. That's part about that. Everybody else just sitting around watching them have this awkward fucking conversation. Like Mira was prepared to go into battle, and she even paused.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a perfect line for Flash to be like, so are y'all gonna start fucking or like
just throw it in there,
right? Should we leave? This is weird. We are gonna get up out of here. We want to thank you for joining us, Erik Lucas. We are still fans of That Geek Show podcast.
Hey,
it's dope. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's at thatgeekshow.com still, right? That's
no.
Cut that part.
No. We have a website coming. It's actually coming the next week or two. No, just for everything we do at That Geek Show on all the socials. That's with same on every single social channel. So.
That Geek Show. We appreciate you. We will probably have you back because every once in a while I like to nerd out. J Roman can nerd out today. So we got the whole Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then we got Loki after that. The hits keep on coming. We got
Black Widow,
baby. If you're a comic book fan and you missed out last year, just get away. They're gonna give you everything this year. They're giving you all of it.
So, real quick. Guess who's gonna go to the theaters when Godzilla comes out? Me, baby.
Yeah,
you know why?
Because
I'm vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated, baby.
Oh, cool.
I'm vaccinated.
As you slap the arm. This arm right here. Easy Lex Luger. Thank you for joining us.
You get the reference, you know?
Big Papa Pump.
Right? We'll get you back in here next time, Erik. Take care, buddy.
All right. See you guys.
We would like to thank Erik Lucas for sitting in with us and chopping it up. I think we got our nerd out of our system. Yeah. You feel like some nerd release has been released from your body? Yeah.
I could always go for more.
Nerding is life. So let's get into our what the shit. Our what the shit is it's a what the shit on a national scale, and it is the rise in Asian hate crimes in the past year and during 2020. It is fucking insane. In the last year, they said since the pandemic, there's been reported, and this was like a week ago, they reported this, 3,800 incidents were reported over the course of the year that involved hate crimes against Asian Americans. 3,800 reported. That's just the ones that were fucking called in and reported.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't the average person walking down the street reporting that someone said, hey, you this or that.
Yeah.
Because they maybe didn't say anything. Maybe they went home and said something, but they didn't report it to anybody. So that's think about that. People
right. Like my I have a friend Hannah. She's an Asian girl, and she posted on her Instagram story. Some dude in some redneck in his fucking truck drives by her, and he's next to her. He's like giving her the fucking slanted eye face for no fucking reason, bro.
You about to shoot laser beams, asshole? What are you doing that for?
What the fuck is wrong with this dude? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? I don't understand this. I mean, we're never gonna get rid of hate. You can never get rid of hate. You can never end racism. As much as we would love to live in a society where racism doesn't exist, we're never going to. But what we can say is this: we've protested for Black Lives Matter, and we've protested for causes where racism, be it systemic or flat out or aggressive racism, we're trying to fight that. We have said on multiple occasions, hate is not okay. We don't agree with racism. We support causes. We protest for these causes. And now we're doing the same thing with our Asian American and Pacific Islander brethren and brothers and sisters. It's not okay what the fuck is happening right now. And I can say the same thing about this that I said when it happened, when people started realizing what happened with, black people are being murdered in the street by the police. I wasn't aware of this. It's been happening for a long time, but you were just now being aware of it. We have always been aware of people who are racist against Asian people for a long time. But thanks to technology and the way the world is now, it's now being brought to the forefront. Now there's more awareness of it, which just like Black lives and just like minority lives, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing because we're more aware. We can try to do something about it. We can protest. We can try to get laws set in place to where people who commit hate crimes are punished more than they have been. But the downside to that is once you bring light to it and you give it some kind of publicity, there are dumbasses out there who think it's the cool thing to do. There are dumb closet racists who are like, oh shit, that's right. I forgot I hate Asian people. Yeah, let me get them. And that's what the fuck happens. So you get the good with the bad, and it's fucking insane. It is absolutely a what the shit, and the shit has to stop.
So
go ahead.
I gotta bring a little historical perspective here. Here's one thing that people I think just don't remember, maybe never knew. Asian people, specifically Japanese, Chinese, from that region, Pacific Island, they were actually here in the U.S. before we were, before Americans, before white or European American or Europeans came in and started taking it over. There's historical findings that we found off the Pacific coast that were with Asian markings from China, from Japan, hundreds of years before everyone else was here. So that's one thing. Two, Asian history, just like they've been saying, Black history is American history. There's a lot of Asian history or Asian American history that is American history. America would not have expanded as rapidly as it did if it wasn't for what they call the Chinamen coming over and helping build the railroads. They are a major, major factor in the Reconstruction era, post-Civil War, along with Black people, as to how the railroads got from one side of the country to the other, up and down. Expansion would not have happened without them, without their help. Okay, lots of technological advances. All these yahoos doing this shit out of their cars are driving Toyotas. Okay, they're driving Hondas. They're driving Kias. They're using Samsung phones. They're using iPhones, which are mostly made in China. They're using appliances that are made in other countries that aren't even ours. But yet they want to be so Yahoo American. They don't even know what American is. They're not even wearing clothing that's made here. So I don't want to hear that. I always got to tell them, miss me with that bullshit. I've now heard twice at my job, twice, unfortunately. And this is a big deal because one thing we learned from the protests, Black Lives Matter and all that is you got to call this shit out. So twice at my job, this cat said something that had to do with, it wasn't hateful, but it was misinformed and it was not the right direction. And he was talking about, I just don't understand how people, how someone, or they could release or loose a virus on the world and not be punished. He's specifically talking about China because it's been, of course, dubbed by our lovely former president, the China virus. Okay. Right. So if it's the China virus, what do we call it now, considering America has the highest rate of infection and death? Because to me, that's the American virus now. And in fact, we have more strains in America than the rest of the world do. So again, miss me with that bullshit because they did their thing. We don't know what they're doing, government-wise numbers and all that. They have a very humongous population and a very, very tightly knit, controlled government. So there's a lot of stuff we don't know from China specifically, I'm saying, of course, but we have Japan, we have Taiwan, we have Hawaiian, Samoan, Fiji, Fuji, all these places, not Fuji, Fuji water, Fiji, forget it. Anyway, Tahiti, anyway, all these other places, the Philippines, the whole Indonesia region, India. Don't people forget India is Asian, you know what I mean? And so it's like it's just the people in this country love to go through their rotations of who they want to be racist against because of every little disaster, but then they don't like it when they get called out. They really seem to not like it. They don't seem to think that what they're doing is wrong because they're the ones that get to do it because we're the big power in the world. I also want to bring this perspective in right here, and I've said this before. We think we're the big power because we have the biggest guns. We have all that. I get that. But we are still very, very small as far as the population compared to the world. If we didn't have the European alliance to go against countries like Russia trying to infiltrate all of our systems and stuff like that, or if Russia and China and a few of those other countries wanted to, they could take us over. It's that plain and simple. We keep fucking with Korea. And not that I'm okay with what North Korea does to their people, but that region, if they decided to unite, we'd be screwed. We have, in the region, I'm talking India, China, all that, we have 5% of the population of the world, something like that. So people got to think about this shit. We think we're all like, woo, this and that here. Shit ain't sweet when you're not in your right place. You know what I mean? We ain't the kings in the water. Those are the sharks. We ain't
Yeah.
gonna be the kings in China. We ain't the kings in Africa. We're the kings of our own castle, and that's it. So don't get the shit twisted, because if they want to snap us up, it'll be like Red Dawn. They'll come over and take it over. You know what I mean? Like straight up.
Yeah, just like we asked our Latin and Latino and Asian brothers and sisters to join us in the fight for the Black Lives Matters cause. We are now saying that us as Blacks and Latinos will join in the fight with Asian Americans in their cause, because this is bullshit. Hate is hate, regardless of how you look at it, and hate doesn't hurt who you think it hurts.
Yeah.
So on that note, we are going to get up out of here. Till next time, I'm Shaun Q. Be smart.
J. Roman, we out.
Keep it old school.